In the previous video, we have learned about the free body diagram and how to draw the free body diagram. Now, in this video, we will cover 5 problems which will help you to understand how the problem in engineering mechanics can be solved using the help of free body diagram. The first 2 problems will be solved using Lami's theorem, and the next 3 problems will be solved using the method of resolution and with the help of equilibrium equations. So let's move on to the first question. A lamp weighing 5 Newton is suspended from the ceiling by a chain. It is pulled aside by a horizontal cord until the chain makes an angle of 60 degrees with the ceiling as shown in the figure. Find the tension in the chain and the cord by applying Lami's theorem. So in this question, we are asked to find out the tension which is developed on the chain due to the weight of this lamp as well as the force developed on the cord. Now, what is Lami's theorem? If you want to apply the Lami's theorem, 3 conditions are to be satisfied. First one is there must be 3 forces acting on the system. The second one, the system must be in equilibrium. And the third one is all the forces must act away from the point or it must act towards the point. So if these 3 conditions are satisfied, we can apply Lami's theorem for solving the question. According to Lami's theorem, force is directly proportional to sine of the angle between the other 2 forces. So that is Lami's theorem. Now let us see what are the forces acting on the system. Now in order to solve the problem using Lami's theorem, we will draw the free body diagram of this point capital O. Now what are the forces acting at this point? The first force will be the weight of the lamp. The second one will be the tension which is developed on the chain. And the third one is the force in the cord. So these are the 3 forces acting at point O. Before solving the problem, let me mark the force which is developed on the chain. As mentioned in the question, definitely it will be a tensile force. Why the nature of the force developed on the string will be tension? Because due to the weight of this lamp, the string has a tendency to get elongated. So the internal force which is developed on the string will try to oppose that elongation, or the nature of the force will be tensile. Now I will draw the free body diagram of point O. Now what are the forces acting at point O? One is the weight of this lamp that will be acting vertically downwards through the point O. So 5 Newton. Then the force in the cord that will be horizontal as shown in the figure. So I am going to assume the force as capital T. Then the third one will be the tensile force which is developed on the chain. So here you can see that the system is in equilibrium. The system is not moving. Okay, so the system is in equilibrium. And how many forces are there? There are 3 forces acting on the system, right? And you can see all the forces are acting away from the point. So now it is possible to apply the Lami's theorem. So if you want to apply the Lami's theorem, you need to know the angle between the 2 forces, right? So you need to know the angle between 5 Newton and T, then angle between TC and T, and also the angle between TC and 5 Newton. Now you know the angle between T and 5 Newton, right? That is 90 degrees. So that angle is known. Now how will you find out this angle? For that, so I will draw a line here. So here, if this angle is 60, what will be this angle? This angle also will be 60 degrees. Now if this angle is 60 degree, what will be the remaining angle? We know this total angle will be 180 degree, right? So 180 minus 60 will be this one, isn't it? Similarly, what will be this angle? The angle between TC and 5 Newton. So that will be 60 plus, this is 90 degree. So 60 plus 90. So we can mark the angles. So this will be 60 plus 90 and the other one will be 180 minus 60. Now what is this angle? That will be 90 itself, right? Now we are going to apply the Lami's theorem. What is Lami's theorem? 5 divided by sine of this angle will be equal to T divided by sine of this angle. That will be equal to TC divided by sine of this angle, right? So that is Lami's theorem. So 5 divided by sine 120 is equal to T divided by sine 150, which is equal to Tc by sine 90. Now solving this equation, you can find out the value of T as 2.887 Newton and the value of Tc as 5.774 Newton. Okay, now we will move on to the next question. An electric light fixture weighing 15 Newton hangs from a point C by two strings AC and BC. The string AC is inclined at 60 degrees to the horizontal and string BC at 45 degrees to the vertical as shown in the figure. Now using Lami's theorem, determine the forces developed in the strings AC and BC. So here also we need to find the forces which is developed on the strings AC and BC using Lami's theorem. So here the lamp is supported by the strings AC and BC. Now the weight of the lamp will be acting vertically downwards, and as a result of that, the nature of the force which is developed on the strings will be tensile. So how will you mark the tensile forces developed on the string? So in the string AC, the tensile force will be marked like this. It is denoted by TA, and in the string BC, the force is marked as shown in the figure. And let TB be the tension which is developed on that string. Now we need to find out these two tensions. So first we will draw the free body diagram of the point C. Now what are the forces starting from point C? One is the weight 15 Newton acting in the downward direction. Then the tension which is developed on the string AC, you can mark that one as TA. Then the tension developed on the string BC, which is marked as TB. So these are the three forces acting at point C. So in this problem also you can see that there are three forces acting on the system and the system is in equilibrium. Okay, now the three forces are acting away from the point C. So all the three conditions are satisfied in this question also. So it is possible to apply the Lami's theorem. If you want to use the Lami's theorem, we need to know the angle between the forces also. So in order to find out the angle, first I have drawn a line here. Now if this angle is 60 degree, what will be this angle? This angle also will be 60 degree, right? Similarly, what will be this angle? This angle will be 45 degree, right? So we got this angle as 45 degree and this angle as 60 degree. We know this angle, right? What is this angle? This angle will be 90. This angle also will be 90, right? So you can find out the angle between TA and 15 Newton. That will be 90 plus 60. The angle between TB and 15 Newton will be equal to 90 plus 45 degree. Now, how will you find out the angle between TB and TA? So we know this total angle, that is 180 degree. So 180 minus, inside the bracket you write 60 degree plus 45 degree, right? So that will give you the angle between TB and TA. So I have marked all the forces in the free body diagram. So 60 plus 90 degree, this is 45 plus 90 degree, and this angle will be 180 minus 60 plus 45 degree. Now we can apply the Lami's theorem. So TA divided by sine of this one, right? Sine of 135 will be equal to TB divided by sine of 150, which is equal to 15 divided by sine of this angle. What is this angle? This angle will be 75 degree. On solving this, we will get TA is equal to 10.98 Newton and TB is equal to 7.76 Newton. Now we will solve the third question. A ball of weight 120 Newton rests in a right angled groove as shown in figure. The sides of the groove are inclined to an angle of 30 degrees and 60 degrees to the horizontal. If all the surfaces are smooth, then determine the reactions RA and RC at the points of contact. So here we need to find out the reactions developed at point A and point C. These are the two contact points. Okay, so in order to find out the reactions, we need to remove the surface and replace the surface by the reaction exerted by the surface on the ball. Or in other words, if you want to find the reactions at A and C, we need to draw the free body diagram of the ball. So how will you draw the free body diagram? In order to draw the free body diagram, we have to remove the contact surfaces. So before that, we will draw the active force. What is the active force here? There is the weight of the ball. So first we will draw the weight of the ball that will be acting vertically downwards through the center of gravity. Then here we can see there are two contact surfaces, so definitely there will be two reactions. So first I am going to remove the surface at A. So when you remove the surface, you need to replace that by the reaction. So I will draw the reaction, and this reaction will be perpendicular to the surface, right? Okay, so that is marked as RA, and when you try to draw the line of action of that force, you can see that is passing through the CG. Okay, similarly I have to remove the contact surface at C also. So when you remove the contact surface at C, you have to replace that by the reaction exerted by the surface on the ball. So I will mark the reaction RC here. So this reaction also will be perpendicular to the surface, right? Again, when you draw the line of action, you can see that the line of action is passing through the CG. So these are the forces acting on the sphere. So I will draw the free body diagram now. So first draw the body. You mark all the active and reactive forces. So 120 Newton is the active force, and RA and RC are the reactive forces. So now in this system, we are going to solve the problem using method of resolution and using the equilibrium conditions. So for that, we'll draw the x and y axis passing through the point B. Now here you can see that two forces are inclined and one force is a vertical one. So in method of resolution, we need to resolve all the forces along the x and y direction, right? Okay, so if you want to resolve these two forces, you need to know the angle made by the forces with x-axis or with respect to the y-axis. So in order to find out the angles, first I will consider this right angle triangle. This one is a right angle triangle. This angle is 60, and we know this angle also 90 degree. So what will be this angle? This angle will be 30 degree. Then you consider this right angle triangle. Now you know this angle, right? That is 30 degree, and this is 90 degree. So this angle will be 60 degree. So you got that angle. I can mark that angle here. Similarly, in order to find out the angle made by RC with 120 Newton, I will consider this triangle first, this small triangle. So this angle is given 30 degree. This is 90 degree. So this one will be 60 degree, right? Now consider this right angle triangle. So this is 60. This will be 90. So what will be this angle? That will be 30 degree. So I got the angles also. I can mark that angles here in the free body diagram. Now in order to apply the method of resolution and equilibrium conditions, I will draw another two axes, x and y axis, and I will mark all the forces acting along the horizontal direction and along the vertical directions alone. That means in the free body diagram, you can see there are two inclined forces. So I will resolve this inclined force into two components. So one will be horizontal component and the other one will be vertical component. And those components will be transferred to the new figure. Clear? Okay. Now let us take RA first. So RA lies in the fourth quadrant, right? This is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, third and fourth quadrant. So RA lies in the fourth quadrant. So when you resolve this force, you will get two components lying in the fourth quadrant. One will be along this positive x-axis, the other one will be along the negative axis, right? Now you can see this RA is acting towards the point B. So the components also will act towards the point B. So there will be a horizontal component acting along the positive x direction towards B, and a vertical component acting along the negative axis towards the point B. And the component which is very close to the angle 60 degree will be always cos. So the vertical component will be RA cos 60 and the horizontal component will be RA sin 60, right? So I will mark 120 Newton first, then the vertical component of RA, that is RA cos 60, the horizontal component of RA, that is RA sin 60. Now let us take the force RC. So RC is acting in the third quadrant. So when you resolve this force, you will get one component along the negative x-axis and one component along the negative y-axis. Here also you can see that RC is acting towards the point B. So the components also will act towards the point. Now here also the component which is very close to the marked angle will be cos. So the vertical component of RC will be RC cos 30 and the horizontal component will be RC sin 30. So I can mark that components also in this figure. So RC cos 30 acting upwards and RC sin 30 acting towards right. So these are the forces acting. Now we will apply the equilibrium conditions for finding out the reactions at A and C. Since the ball is in equilibrium, that is not moving, right? That is at rest. The system is in equilibrium. So you can apply the equilibrium conditions. What are the equilibrium conditions? Sigma V equal to 0 and sigma H is equal to 0. What is sigma H? Algebraic sum of all the horizontal forces acting on the system. That will be equal to 0. And algebraic sum of all the vertical forces acting on the system also will be equal to 0. So first we will write sigma H equal to 0. What is sigma H? Algebraic sum of all the horizontal forces. So we have two horizontal forces here. One is acting towards left and the other one is acting towards right. So we need to apply the sign convention, and as per our sign convention, the forces acting towards right will be taken as positive and forces acting towards left will be taken as negative. So here RC sin 30 will be positive and RA sin 60 will be negative. So RC sin 30 minus RA sin 60 is equal to 0. That is our first equation. Then we will write sigma V equal to 0. What does that mean? Algebraic sum of all the vertical forces will be equal to 0. Now we have three forces acting in the vertical direction. Two forces are acting in the upward direction and one force is acting in the downward direction. So here also we will apply the sign convention. So all the forces acting in the upward direction will be taken as positive and the force acting in the downward direction will be taken as negative. So RC cos 30 plus RA cos 60 minus 120 is equal to 0. So we have two equations with two unknowns RA and RC. On solving these equations, we will get RC equal to 103.92 Newton and RA is equal to 60 Newton. Now we will move on to the fourth question. Two identical rollers, each of weight W equals 1000 Newton, are supported by an inclined plane and a vertical wall as shown in figure. Find the reactions at points of supports A, B and C. Assume all the surfaces to be smooth. So in this question, two rollers are supported by an inclined plane and a vertical wall. Now these two rollers are identical. Therefore, the line connecting the centers of these two rollers will be always parallel to this inclined plane. This point is very important for solving this problem. Since the rollers are identical, since they are having same radius, the line connecting the centers of these two rollers, that is a line connecting F and E, will be parallel to the inclined plane. Now, since this inclined plane makes an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal, this line FE will also make 30 degrees with the horizontal. Okay. Now, in this particular question, you are asked to find the reactions at supports A, B and C. If you want to find out the reactions at supports, we need to draw the free body diagram of the rollers first. So here, since there are two rollers, we will consider each roller separately. So which roller will we choose first for solving? That is one of the important questions. So it is always better to choose that roller where the number of unknown forces will be minimum. So we need to find out how many unknown forces are acting on each roller. So let us consider the roller P first. So when you consider the roller P, how many forces will be there? One is the weight of that roller that will be acting vertically downwards. That is given in the question as 1000 Newton. Then how many contact points are there? There are two contact points. One is contact A and the other one is point D. So there will be two reactions. So there will be a reaction at A and there will be a reaction at D. So these are the two unknown forces acting on this roller P. Now when you consider the roller Q, how many contact points are there? B is there, C is there and D is also there. So there will be three contact points and the active force will be the weight of that roller, which will be acting in the downward direction, which is equal to 1000 Newton, and there will be three reactions. One is RB, the second one is RC, and the third one is the reaction at D. So there will be three unknown forces when you consider the roller Q. So if you are considering the roller P first, you need to solve for two unknowns, but if you are considering the roller Q, you need to solve for three unknowns. Now, since we are using the equilibrium conditions for solving, we have only two equilibrium conditions. That is sigma h equal to 0 and sigma v equal to 0. So, with the help of two equations, the maximum number of unknowns that can be solved will be two only. So, it is always better to choose the free body diagram of P first for solving. So, here we are going to consider the equilibrium of roller P. So, let us mark the other forces also acting on this roller. So, one is the reaction that will be perpendicular to the inclined surface. So, when you draw the line of action of that force, it will be passing through the point E. There is one reaction. Then we have one more contact surface or one more contact point at D, right? So, here you are removing this Q. So, when you remove the roller Q, you need to replace that by the reaction exerted by F on E. So, you need to mark that reaction. So, this is the reaction, or this is the force which is exerted by the roller Q on P. So, these are the two unknown reactions, and this is the known force acting on the roller P. Now, let's see what are the forces acting on roller Q. So, here also the weight of the roller will be acting vertically downwards, that is 1000 Newton. Then how many contact points are there? Three contact points, right? B, C and D. So when you consider the contact point B, you will have one reaction that will be acting like this, right? RB, which will be perpendicular to the inclined surface. So when you try to draw the line of action, it will be passing through the point F, right? Then the next one is contact C. So here there will be a reaction which will be perpendicular to this contact surface. So that will be acting in the horizontal direction, which is denoted by RC. When you draw the line of action, you can see that is also passing through the point F, right? Then we have this point, right? So here, in order to draw the free body diagram of Q, we will remove this roller P. So when you remove the roller, you have to replace that by the reaction exerted by, or the force exerted by P on Q, right? That is REF. That is the force exerted by P on Q, right? REF. So this is the fourth force acting on the roller Q. Now, in order to draw the free body diagram, we'll try to consider two axes passing through the point E. So here you can see that RFE is lying in the third quadrant and RA is lying in the fourth quadrant. So we will draw the free body diagram. So this shows the free body diagram of P. So how many forces? Three forces are acting. One is 1000 Newton acting vertically downwards. Then RA. And the third one is RFE. Now if you want to resolve these forces, we need to know the angle made by RA with the y-axis or with the x-axis, and the angle made by RFE with the x-axis or with the y-axis. So how will you find out these angles? For that, first we will consider this triangle. So when you consider this triangle, we know this angle, right? This is 30 degree. So this is 90 degree. So what will be this angle? This will be 60 degree. Now you can consider this right angle triangle. So since this is 60 and this is 90, this angle will be 30 degree. So the angle made by RA with 1000 Newton or with the vertical axis will be 30 degree. Right? Now we will try to find out the angle made by RFE with the horizontal. Right? Okay. As I have told earlier, the line FE and inclined line are parallel. Since the inclined plane makes an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal, this line FE will also make 30 degree with the horizontal. Now, if this angle is 30 degree, this angle also will be equal to 30 degree. Correct? So this is 30 degree with the x-axis. Now we have two inclined forces and a vertical force. Now in order to apply the method of resolution, we will draw two new axes, x and y axis, and we will transfer all the forces from here, from the free body diagram, to this new system of axes. So when we transfer all the forces, we will consider only the horizontal and vertical forces. So all the inclined forces will be converted into, or will be resolved into, two components. One component acting along the x-axis and the other component acting along the y-axis. Then we will transfer the components to the new system. Okay, now let us take one by one. So first one is the 1000 Newton. Since that is a vertical force, we can transfer that force here. Now let us take Ra, that is an inclined force which lies in the fourth quadrant. So we can resolve this into two components. One will be along this x-axis and the other one will be along this y-axis. Right? Since the force is acting towards the point, the components also will act towards the point. So what will be the component? So the horizontal component will be Ra sine 30 acting towards the point E, and the vertical component will be Ra cos 30 acting towards the point E. Now when you consider the reaction RFE, you can resolve this also into two components. One will be along the horizontal and the other one will be along the vertical. Right? So here the horizontal component will be acting towards the point E, that will be RFE cos 30, and the vertical component will be acting in the upward direction, acting towards the point E, and that will be RFE sin 30. So we can draw all these forces in the new xy axis. So here you can see RFE sin 30 acting in the upward direction, RFE cos 30 acting towards right, then Ra sin 30 acting towards left, and Ra cos 30 acting in the upward direction. Again 1000 acting in the downward direction. Now let us see what are the forces acting on the roller Q. So what are the forces acting on roller Q? The first force will be the weight of the roller, which will be acting vertically downwards through F. Right, that is 1000 Newton, which is given in the question. Then there are three contact points, so there will be three reactions. The second one is RB, which will be perpendicular to the surface. When the line of action is drawn, you can see that line of action is passing through the point F. Then the third one is the reaction exerted by the wall, which will be an horizontal force, and when you draw the line of action, you can see that is also passing through the point F. Then the next one is we will be removing this roller P, so the force exerted by P on Q, which is REF. Right, these are the forces acting on roller Q. Now we will draw the free body diagram of Q here. So how many forces are there? 1000 Newton, then RB, REF and RC. Now if you want to apply the method of resolution, we need to know the angles made by these inclined forces with x or y axis. Now for that, again we will consider this triangle. So when you consider this triangle, we know this angle, that is 30 degree, and this is 90 degree, so this will be 60 degree. Now when you consider this triangle, you get this is 60, this is 90, so this angle will be 30 degree. So the angle made by RB with the vertical will be 30 degree itself. Now when you consider this force, we know that the line FE makes an angle of 30 degree with the x-axis. So you can mark that angle also here. So these are the angles made by the inclined forces. Now we will draw two new axes, x and y axis. We will transfer all these forces to the new xy axis. That is just to make the calculation simple. Okay, so when we transfer all the forces, we will be drawing only the vertical and horizontal components of these inclined forces along with the vertical and horizontal forces acting on the roller Q. So what are the forces acting? The first one is 1000 Newton acting downwards along the y axis. Then see RB, that is acting in the fourth quadrant. So we have two components here for RB. One will be the horizontal component, the other one will be the vertical component. So horizontal component will be RB sin 30 acting towards left, so that is marked here, and the vertical component will be RB cos 30 acting in the upward direction, that is marked here. Right, now we will take REF. So Again, we can resolve this force into two components, right? So there will be a horizontal component acting along this axis and a vertical component acting along this y-axis, right? So the horizontal component will be REF cos 30 acting towards left, this one, and the vertical component will be REF sin 30 acting in the downward direction. So I have marked that force also. So all the inclined forces are resolved into horizontal and vertical components, and that is shown in this figure. And the last force is RC, that will be acting along the x-axis towards F. So these are the forces acting on the roller Q, that is 1000 Newton in the downward direction, RB cos 30 in the upward direction, REF sin 30 in the downward direction. Then the horizontal forces RC acting towards right, RB sin 30 acting towards left, and REF cos 30 acting towards left. Now, we will use the equilibrium conditions for solving the problem and finding out the unknowns. So what are the equilibrium conditions available? There is sigma V equal to 0 and sigma H equal to 0. Now what is sigma V? Sigma V is the algebraic sum of all the vertical forces. And what is sigma H? Sigma H is the algebraic sum of all the horizontal forces. Also we know that the force exerted by the roller P on Q will be equal to the force exerted by roller Q on P. That is, RFE will be equal to REF, which is equal to, let us write that as RD. Now let us consider the equilibrium of roller P. So sigma V equal to 0 implies how many vertical forces are there? There are 3 vertical forces. 2 are acting in the upward direction and 1 is acting in the downward direction. So RA cos 30 plus RD sin 30. From where you got this RD? I am replacing this REF and RFE as RD. So this will be replaced by RD. So RD sin 30 and 1000 is acting in the downward direction. So minus 1000 is equal to 0. This is our first equation. RA cos 30 plus RD sin 30 minus 1000 is equal to 0. Then sigma H equal to 0 implies, so instead of RFE we can write RD, right? So RD cos 30 minus RA sin 30 is equal to 0. Okay. Now let us consider the equilibrium of roller Q. Again we will apply the equilibrium conditions. First one is sigma V equal to 0, which implies RB cos 30 acting in the upward direction, which is taken as positive, minus, instead of REF I will write RD, so minus RD sin 30 and minus 1000 is equal to 0. Then sigma H equal to 0 implies RC minus RB sin 30 minus RD cos 30 is equal to 0. So we have 4 unknowns with 4 equations. On solving these equations, we will get the values for all the reactions. That is, RA is equal to 866.17 Newton, RD is equal to 499.78 Newton, RB equal to 1443.3 Newton, and RC is equal to 1154.45 Newton. Now let's move on to the last question of the section. A roller of radius 40 cm weighing 3000 Newton is to be pulled over a rectangular block of height 20 cm as shown in figure by a horizontal force applied at the end of a string wound round the circumference of the roller. Find the magnitude of the horizontal force which will just turn the roller over the corner of the rectangular block. Also determine the magnitude and direction of reaction at A and B. All surfaces may be taken as smooth. So here you can see a roller which is pulled over a rectangular block by a horizontal force applied at point C. So when the roller is about to turn over this rectangular block, there will not be any contact between the roller and the surface, right? So here there will not be any contact. So how many contact points will be there? There will be only one contact, that will be at B. So let's see what are the forces acting on this roller at that instant. So the first one will be the weight 3000 Newton, which will be acting vertically downwards through the center of gravity. Then the second one is the applied force capital P. And since here there will be a contact, we have a reaction at this point which will be exerted by the rectangular block on the roller. For equilibrium, the line of action of all the forces must pass through a single point. So here when you extend the line of action of the weight, you can see that is passing through the point C. and the line of action of the horizontal force is also passing through the point C. So since these two forces are passing through the point C, line of action of the reaction exerted by the rectangular block on the roller also must pass through the point C, right? So RB will be acting like this. So here you can see that the line of action of 3000 Newton, line of action of RB and the line of action of P is passing through a single point. So the system will be in equilibrium. Now I have drawn two axes, x-axis and y-axis, just to locate the position of the forces. Now here we have one horizontal force and one vertical force and one inclined force. So if we want to solve this problem using the method of resolution, we need to identify the angle made by RB with y-axis or with x-axis. So let that angle be theta. Now how will you find out this angle? CDB is actually a right angle triangle, right? So you know this distance CD. CD will be equal to OC plus OD. And what is OC? OC will be the radius of the circle, which is given as 40 centimeter. Now OA also will be the radius of the circle, which is 40 centimeter. Now we know the height of the rectangular block, so AD will be 20. So what will be OD? OD will be 20 centimeters. So we know CD is equal to 40 plus 20, that is 60, right? Now if we can calculate BD distance, then using the formula tan theta is equal to opposite side by adjacent side, we will be able to find out the angle theta. Now, in order to find out the length BD, we will consider another triangle OBD like this. So here OB denotes the radius of the circle. OD is known, that is 20 centimeter. Radius is also known, 40 centimeter. So from the right angle triangle, we can find out BD. That is, BD square will be equal to OB square minus OD square. So from that, we can find out the distance BD. Now, how will you find out theta? You can take tan theta. Tan theta will be equal to BD divided by CD, right? So BD is known, CD is also known. From that, you can find out the angle theta. Okay. Now, let's see, when the roller is about to turn over the corner of the rectangular block, the roller lifts at the point A, and then there will be no contact between the point A and the floor. Hence, the reaction at A becomes zero at this point, right? Now, what are the forces acting on the roller? So, first one is the weight of the roller. The second one is the applied force P. And the third one is the reaction at B exerted by the block on the roller. Now, for the roller to be in equilibrium, the line of action of the above mentioned three forces must pass through a single point. Here, already two forces, that is W and P, pass through point C. Therefore, the reaction at B also must pass through the point C. Now, in order to find the angle theta, let us first consider triangle OBD, right? So, from OBD, we can find out what is BD square, right? So, OB square is equal to OD square plus BD square, or BD square is equal to OB square minus OD square, which is equal to 40 square minus 20 square. Therefore, BD will be obtained as 34.64 centimeter. Now, in order to find out the angle theta, we will consider the triangle CDB. So from that, what is tan theta? Tan theta will be BD by CD, which is equal to BD we have already calculated, that is 34.64 divided by CD. What is CD? CD can be written as OC plus OD. What is OC? Radius 40 plus, and OD is 20. So from this equation, we can find out the value of theta as 30 degree. Now we will resolve all the forces. We know the angle theta. Now we are going to resolve this inclined force into two components. So I have drawn two axes, x and y axis here, and I will be marking only the horizontal and vertical forces in order to make the calculation simple. Okay, so 3000 Newton, that will be acting vertically downwards along the y axis. P, which is a horizontal force, which is acting along the x axis. Then RB, we can resolve that into two components. Since RB is lying in the fourth quadrant, horizontal component will be acting along the positive x-axis and vertical axis, and vertical component will be acting along the negative y-axis. So the vertical component will be RB cos 30 acting upwards, and horizontal component will be RB sin 30 acting towards left. And the applied force that is also marked here. Right. Now we will apply the equilibrium condition since the object is in equilibrium. Sigma V is equal to 0. We have two vertical forces. One is acting upwards and another one is acting in the downward direction. So RB cos 30 minus 3000 will be equal to 0. And sigma H will be P minus RB sin 30 is equal to 0. Now solving these two equations, we can find out P as 1732.1 Newton and RB is equal to 3464.2 Newton.